So, hey guys, I have been wanting to do this video for a while now, and I don't know why. I think because in my heart I like to help people, and I know there's a lot of content on the internet that talks about purchase, buy, this, buy that, and if you don't own this or own that or don't have this in your collection, then I don't know, then you are not up on the latest thing, or your collection is whack. So I guess I just felt the need to kind of balance that out a little, I guess you could say, because I have fell victim to being influenced and purchasing things that I don't really need and maybe would not have wanted if I hadn't seen someone else online who had this item. And don't get me wrong, I have bought several things that I've seen online, I've bought, and I've loved. And so not everything online is bad, or not everything everyone is pushing is bad or harmful or whatever you want to say. But I have fallen victim to buying things that I don't need and then kind of feeling stuck, I guess. I guess what I've been thinking about lately is how harmful consumerism can be, and how harmful social media can be in the wrong hands, and how harmful it can be to just be out of balance. Everybody puts their best foot forward online. Everybody makes it look like their life is so amazing. And I think that there's an adrenaline rush from the attention people get online, on social media, from all the likes and all the comments, and I guess maybe even some of the envy people receive. And so I don't know, I've just been giving that a lot of thought lately. And just to give you some context, before this situation with the pandemic, life was much busier probably for all of us, or at least for some of us. And then life kind of March 2020 kind of ground to a halt. And so life slowed down. And for me, in 2020, I went through, I guess, a stage of probably what everybody went through. We don't know what's going on. Everything is uncertain. People are losing jobs. People are getting sick. There's just a lot of anxiety and uncertainty. And so, I think several of us held on to our pocketbooks and held on to our money a lot tighter. And in 2020, that was me. I was very, I'm not spending on anything that I don't need. I'm going to pay all my credit cards off. I'm going to pay all my debt down, and I'm going to hold on to any disposable income that maybe I'd normally be spending in a normal year. I'm going to sit on it. I'm not going to do anything with it because I don't know what's next. I don't know what's coming next, and I want to be prepared and have all the resources that I need. If someone was to lose their job in my family or anything, you just never know what you might have needed in that situation. And so I was holding pretty tight to my pocketbook. So at the end of 2020 into 2021, my husband and I had found that we had paid all our credit cards down, and we were just in a good, stable financial space. And that was great. That was wonderful. But then, I don't know, something happened. Before this situation, I was never on YouTube. I was not on social media that much. At least, I might post on Instagram, but I didn't spend a whole lot of time scrolling through other people's content, sad to say. And I have a Facebook page, but I am hardly ever on it because life was just filled with other things. But again, in 2021, things hadn't really returned to normal. And, along with maybe having a little extra money, I had extra time on my hands. Boredom kind of set in, the monotony of the day-to-day. Some of us, we all responded to the situation differently. For my family, we really kind of sheltered in place even when we didn't have to. I mean, we went out here and there, but it was a slow kind of crawl back into public space, just because we were scared. We don't want to get sick, don't want to die, don't want to deal with anything that we don't have to deal with. And so boredom, like I said, just extra time. And I found that I was starting to spend this time watching YouTube, watching streaming, just more than I ever had before. And then I started to feel like I needed things that I didn't need. And it's interesting, the psychology behind that, because I've always loved Louis Vuitton. I've always been a fan since my 20s. A friend, I think, kind of hit me to the fashion house and the brand and the pieces, and I fell in love with them, you know, after I kind of discovered them through her. But I never felt the need to buy or have like a collection. In 2012, I bought a few pieces and I was content, and that was that. And sure, I made purchases of purses and stuff and bags, but mostly it was like at Macy's or Coach. I never really was a big spender on purses. And suddenly I found myself, you know, with this drive and need to buy everything I ever wanted or ever liked from Louis Vuitton. And I found this online community, and I found all these bloggers and YouTubers, and got kind of caught up and swept up in the whole thing. And I'm looking back now that it's, you know, we're creeping toward the end of 2021, and I definitely feel like I got caught up in something that I didn't, you know, realize I was getting caught up in. And not all of it, you know, it's not wrong to buy yourself nice things. And, you know, if you have some extra money and you want to buy yourself something nice or reward yourself, that's fine. But for me, I just found that I was spending to fulfill some other need. You know, I was spending out of boredom. I was spending out of a little bit of, you know, maybe a depression or a low mood. I was spending out of being influenced to spend, influenced that, you know, I needed things that I really didn't need. And now I am, you know, now I am just kind of taking stock and regretting. I'm having some buyer's remorse. I'm having some regrets of some of the money I have spent. And listen, I think it is fun to get online and share things that you love, just great purchases, great buys. I don't like the idea of influencing just to influence, just to really kind of profit off of influencing others. I don't like that idea, and I actually got kind of caught up in influencing a little bit, and I'll have to leave that for another video that I've actually wanted to do as well. And listen, you know, I barely have any followers. I barely have anybody that watches my videos, and that's okay. In my mind, if one person sees a video that I have made and it helps them in any way, then that is worth it to me. And you never know who you might touch with something that you do and put out publicly. So yeah, but like I was saying, you know, I think that it's fun to get out here and share things that you love, but there's also, I think, okay, airplane is going over, so I also think that there is a danger in consuming, and telling people you love everything you've bought, and maybe there's not truth to that entirely. So I also want to just get out here and talk about things that are real and truthful, and some purchase regrets, because I know that there are, you know, just so many people talking about all the things that they bought that they loved and telling everybody else that they need those things too. And so I just want to kind of balance that out and say, I don't love everything that I've purchased from Louis Vuitton. There are some things that I wish I hadn't bought. And here's the thing with luxury buying is you can't always return things. So, you know, when I buy something at Nordstrom, if I don't use it for a month and then I go to use it and I decide I don't like it or it's not for me, I can return it. And, you know, that is, thank goodness, because we all, you know, we can't get to wearing or using everything that we buy immediately, or even in 30 days for me. Sometimes, you know, months will go by before I go to use something that I've bought. And then I realize, I don't like this, or this doesn't work for me, or it doesn't work for my lifestyle, or it doesn't work for my body type. I thought I liked it in the store, but I really don't. And thank goodness, for the most part, we have the freedom to go return stuff. But with luxury items like Louis Vuitton, if you don't wear something for 30 days, if you let 30 days go by before you go to use something, and then you decide, this doesn't work for me, it's too late. You can't go and return it. You can't exchange it. You really are stuck with it, or you have to sell it on the pre-loved market. And that is not always something that people want to do. And while I have sold on the pre-loved market, there are things that I have a little bit of anxiety about selling something that I've basically bought brand new at a high price point that I haven't used, and now I have to sell it on the pre-loved market, because there's a lot of risk involved with that on both sides. But as a seller, you have to deal with the risk of selling something and possibly getting scammed, not getting your money. And sometimes I'm ready to do that, with items that I've used or had for a while. I'm ready to take the risk. It doesn't feel as big of a leap for me. But for something that is pretty much brand new and I've only owned not even a year and haven't used, I'm a little less ready to pull the trigger on selling that out on the pre-loved market. So that leaves me kind of stuck with some things that I'm not using, don't necessarily love, and now I'm trying to force myself to like or use them just because I've bought them and they were pretty expensive. Right. So I'm going to show you guys 2 items that I just wish I would never have purchased. And I am stuck with them now, and I'm not ready to sell them. And I don't know if I ever will be. Right now I'm in the phase of, let me try to convince myself to use and love and enjoy these items, because now they're bought and they're mine. But the truth is, I would not recommend these items to anyone else, and I don't love them, and I wish I had not bought them. I had to write down the names of them, and let me just say, usually I do a lot of research before I make a luxury purchase, because again, you can't just go return it. And it's more difficult to return it if you don't do it in a certain number of days, and yada, yada, yada. And it's just a lot of money to spend on something you're not entirely sure of. So I like to be pretty sure. And so thank goodness for this online community where you can just hear other people's experiences and thoughts and reviews. But on these 2 items, I did not do any research. I was in the store. I can't even remember all the circumstances. It was 2 different occasions. And these were true impulse buys. And they're the reason that I usually just don't impulse buy, because of this very thing. But again, circumstances of this year and last year, and just, I think my emotional and mental state kind of all came together and put me in a place where I made some purchases that I regret. And I think I'm in a better place now. So that's why I'm able to kind of talk about it and hopefully help someone else. Now, I want to warn you, I have not painted both of my hands. Anyone who knows me knows that I paint one hand and I let that dry really, really well before I paint the other. And what ends up happening is I will go hours and hours and hours with a painted hand and not get to this one yet. So that's what you're going to see as I'm demonstrating these 2 purses. This is the DeVille Mini in monogram, DeVille Mini. And so I had a purse that I loved from Fossil that is basically this same like style and shape, and it looked like this, and I wore it to Spain, and I just love that purse. But it was a pretty inexpensive purse from Fossil, like I said. And I saw this and I thought, oh, that looks just like that purse that I love from Fossil, but it's in, this monogram print that I love from Louis Vuitton. And so I purchased it on the spot. And it's funny because the SA that I was working with, she actually kind of tried to talk me out of it. I forget what she was, I think she was trying to get me to, I think she was suggesting the Alma BB. And I looked at the Alma BB and I liked it, but for whatever reason, this one had already just kind of captured me. And so I bought this one, and then I didn't wear it for 30 days. And then when I went to wear it, I was like, I'm not as in love with this as I thought I was. It's just kind of, I don't know. Something about it is just not quite the same. Maybe because my other one was a little thinner, the one from Fossil. So it's kind of just, it's just a kind of an awkward bag. And I'm not even sure if I can put my finger on why I don't love it. But the few times that I've gone to wear it, I really had to kind of force myself to wear it. So yeah, I just wish that I hadn't bought it, but like I said, I'm not at the point where I'm wanting to sell it. It already comes with kind of, so this is not, the vachetta is already kind of patinaed on purpose. So that was nice because I don't really love that, you know, almost white, untreated vachetta kind of look. So it already comes with a little bit of patina. That was nice. That also kind of sold me. And I don't know. I'm still trying to love this bag, but I want to just share the truth, which is I don't just love it automatically. I'm having to force myself. But what did grab me was, you know, I really liked the luggage tag, and it was already included, and that was nice. I thought it was a cool feature. And like I said, I thought the already pre-patina was kind of a cool feature. So, and I just thought, man, this looks just like another bag that I love, but it isn't quite translating the same. So this is a regret purchase. And the next purse that is a major regret, I'm like, what the heck was I thinking? Is the Boit Chapeau Supple PM. So I know what I was thinking. I had seen an Instagram post, I kid you not, of an African-American woman with like her luggage. I think she was like at the airport, and she had actually luggage that I already owned. And so that's kind of what caught my attention is this luggage I already had, and she was wearing this, and I was like, oh, ooh, that would be cute. I have that luggage, and I love Louis Vuitton, so, you know, bam, this is what I bought. And you guys, it's a no. It's just an awkward bag. It is it's cool. You know, I do like circular bags. I don't love circular bags, but they're kind of like a novelty item. But when I wear this, the few times that I have worn it, it just seems, again, awkward. And I'm forcing myself to love it. Now, I think it's these little slits are kind of cool. So that was one thing that kind of got my attention. But at the end of the day, it was just me being caught up in something I saw that I thought was cute on someone else. And really, the truth is, I should have just left it at that's cute on her. And then I just should have just kept scrolling. I shouldn't have bought it. And again, it's a regret. I am going to try and love it because it was pretty expensive. But, you know, it sucks that you have to make yourself love something or force yourself to wear something simply because you know you paid a lot of money for it. And so you want to get your money's worth. But for anyone else who's looking at this bag, I say make sure you try it on and, you know, sleep on it and think about it and make sure you love it because it's small. My phone barely fits. So, you know, I'm using my phone right now, so I can't really show you, but basically what fits in here is my phone and the recto verso, which I actually bought when I bought this because I didn't have another wallet that would fit in here. And so, you know, the SA brought over wallets and card holders, and I end up getting the recto verso. And that is another impulse purchase that I don't love, but I force myself to use. I've actually been using that a lot. But you know, I don't get the joy out of using it that I should at the price point that it is. You know what I'm saying? So when you've got something that is pretty expensive, a luxury item, even if you're using it every day, there should be some joy and some I don't know, you should just really enjoy using that thing. I mean, that's why you paid so much money for it. So the fact that I use something doesn't necessarily make up for the, you know, amount I spent on it if I'm not enjoying using it. And the reason I know is because I have some things that I love and I love using. Because I love the pochette métisse. Every time I use the pochette métisse, I feel an enjoyment from using that bag. And so that's what makes it, I guess, worth it in a sense. There's another bag I love. My favorite, my Louis Vuitton Damier Ebene favorite. I love that bag. Whenever I use it, it gives me something. And that's what you want from a luxury item. That's kind of, you know, partly what you're paying for. And so I want to have that with all my luxury items. And if I don't, then there's a piece missing and it's almost not worth it. And so I guess maybe I'll get to the point where one day I'll part with these guys. I'm just not there yet, but I still wanted to bring some balance to all the people online saying how much they love everything that they've bought. I want to say, hey, I don't love everything that I bought. And I wish I would have done my research and maybe slept on it before I made the purchase, or maybe gone to use it a little sooner. And maybe that's, you know, the moral of the story is, if you do buy something, make sure you try to use it within 15 to 30 days so that you know, and that you can return it, and that you don't, you know, get to a point where now it's not returnable, you know, just so you're not in the position that I'm in. So I think this video has gone on a lot longer than I intended it to, but I just think it's important to, you know, be honest and be balanced, and share regrets just as much as you share celebrations of things. This is a community, and I think that some of us, you know, do get caught up in being influenced, but maybe watching someone's video that, you know, they're saying, hey, I haven't loved everything hasn't been great, everything hasn't been fantastic, will just help, you know, somebody think about maybe what they're doing and what they're buying and why they're buying it. And so, yeah, I think I feel like I've been rattling, but yeah, so I don't know. Hopefully this was helpful. Until next time, bye.